For this assignment, my inquiry question was, how do I keep my male students interested and motivated through a larger reading selection? Their participants were 6 7th grade male students in my 4th period class. The purpose of the question is to find out how to motivate 7th grade middle school boys to read more often and continue to read selections that are longer. And even when I'm selecting the genre for them or the text, how to keep them motivated doing that as well. I used Pamela S. Forrest et al.'s article, Mail Call, 5th grade boys reading preference as a reference. Their findings were that boys selected a book for several reasons. What looks good by examining the cover. Struggling readers would also look at the fonts of the print and how long the book was. They liked reading books that looked unusual or had interesting facts, or books that were part of a series from their favorite author. They liked characters that met challenges and overcame them. They also liked informative books or informational books, short passages, pictures, or cartoons within the text. They also liked when their teachers read out loud to them. Many boys were positively influenced and then would find books of a similar topic or by the author. I also reviewed Assessing Adolescents' Motivation to Read by Sharon M. Pitcher et al. That was one of the assignments that we had earlier. I really connected to that because that was part of what was going on from my inquiry question about adolescence. So it was a really great article for me to read. In that article, it was looking at their reading attitudes and experiences, and that was important as well. I reproduced the Adolescent Motivation to Read profile, or the AMRP survey, that they created to give to my students to find out more about their reading. My goals are to give my male students an opportunity to select books that they enjoy reading, in the hope that they will read the book and enjoy it and then want to read another book, even if it's a similar topic. I am hoping it will motivate them to not only to continue to read, but also to be more open-minded to the text and novels they have to read. So basically what I did is I started off on a Monday giving all my students, including the girls, the AMRP Figure 1 survey. This took less than 10 minutes. I collected those sheets. Then I met with my 6 boys individually and asked them the questions from the Figure 2 worksheet. There were many questions, and I wanted to spend time with each student. So I gave the class the reading assignment for them to work on. I met with 3 boys on Monday and 3 boys on Tuesday. The class is working on a novel, so they had work to do. We discussed the answers from the prior day, went over any ideas or any surprises that came up in the chapter, and then they were given the purpose for reading the next day. And then on Tuesday, I did the same thing, and I met with those last 3 boys. During my prep periods, I scored the AMRP, looking to find their self-concept as a reader and the value of reading in their own opinions. This helps me really get to know my male students to help get them some motivation from my end until they have intrinsic motivation, to get them to want to read and be able to hold the reading for longer periods of time. In 7th grade, we read a lot of texts, a variety of texts, vigorous texts, and I need them to be able to be intrinsically motivated even if they don't like the topic. I know teachers in many grades have problems motivating their students. It might be, one of the questions that we always have is how to do that. So I'm trying with this inquiry question to find out how I can do that and do it more often, more frequently, until they can build up their own motivation and do it on their own. As a result of creating the plan and conducting the mini lesson, I've learned a lot about my male students. When they think of themselves, the way they think of themselves as reader, how they think of others, viewing them as readers, how much influence social perception is on how much they read. And in middle school, 7th grade, that's a big deal. I do have some boys that walk around with books in their hands, but it's definitely big, what people think of you. They're very egocentric at this time. They're very concerned also with what their peers think of them. So that has something to do with it as well. How much do they read? What type of books do they read? What topics are they interested in? And are more likely to read because they like. After posing the inquiry, my potential future questions will be, will their motivation move on to the next piece of text or piece of literature? Or will it just stay on the ones that they like to read? Will this move them to be more intrinsically motivated, which I spoke about before, which is my hope? Will this make a difference in the reading comprehension, understanding, application, inferencing, analysis, synthesizing of the text? Because ultimately that's what I need them to do. Not only learn them, I want them to do it, but I need them to be able to do that so that they can attack those harder texts, those more rigorous texts, which we get not only in the classroom, but the standardized test, New Jersey Ask, and then in the future of the park. They're going to have to be able to look at a text and be able to manipulate in such a way, and then look at another text, combine the two, and make a thoughtful piece of writing from it. So it's really important that they're able to do these parts of higher order thinking skills in reading. I look forward to having more of my questions answered as I continue the process with these boys. Thank you.